as soon as someone starts watching you, it all changes. Like, you're like, I could have practiced this in my bathroom, or I wrote a whole paper about this, and all of a sudden you're like, like, it's gone, just completely gone. And I'm like, this is why we're here, right? My name is Chauntee Schuler Irving, and I am an assistant professor of the practice in theater studies. So years ago, I was a high school student studying math and science, and I was just looking for a class to fill out my schedule. And I had a friend who said, just take theater. And I did. And little did I know, it set me on a path that I was completely not planning to take. And it was many years later when I was working on Broadway, I was in a chair with my makeup artist talking about all the teaching that I was doing while I was performing. And she said to me, I think you like doing that more than this. And I looked at her and I said, I think you're right. And that's what set me off into the direction of actually becoming a professor of acting. One of the biggest challenges I had specifically as an artist before coming to Duke was dealing with physical and life changes. I'm a person who loves to be planned and loves to have everything figured out. But when I had my daughter years ago, I was bedridden for almost a year. And it completely changed my outlook on how my body works. As an artist, I use my body to do the things that I need to do. And after that year, I was in incredible pain. And it took me years to rehab and get back on my feet. And in those years is where I started rethinking, what does being an artist really look like? How do you shift with different seasons of life, different abilities? And I truly am so grateful for that challenge, because it sent me on a journey of saying art is, should, and hopefully will always be accessible to everyone, whether you're able to kick your leg up high or be on Broadway, or maybe whether you're in a bed and not able to move at all, like I was for that year. And so this idea of bringing art to the people and bringing art to places where people don't have access, like young mothers, like people who are ill, is a passion that really was born out of that year and that challenge. My vision for what I'd like to do here at Duke is really encompassed in 3 areas. One is community, collaboration, and careers. With community, one of the first questions I had was, how are we interacting with the Durham community that we're in? And so I'm already making strides with the local theater community to bring guest artists and aid in bringing resources to programs that are already in existence to help students continue to grow in the theater and performing arts. With collaboration, I want to work with people in different departments who are talking about the human experience in different facets and how that can overlap with acting. So working with neuroscience or psychology or philosophy, and talking about how that can affect storytelling and the stories that we choose to tell. And lastly, I just want to let people know that a career in the theater is real and possible. And so bringing in guest artists and bringing students to conferences and exposing them to that world is really important to me here at Duke. My teaching style really is one of simplicity. I like to focus on taking really complex concepts and boiling them down to its simplest form. I find that that's the way that story is told in the clearest, most efficient, and most effective way. I also like to focus on the student, making sure that they have freedom to be themselves and to tell their stories and their histories and bring their cultural backgrounds to everything that we do. So that's what I've really built my classroom around. What I would say to the student who feels anxiety about entering the performing arts, even if they're excited to try out the performing arts, is to try it, to show up. A lot of the challenge of doing the performing arts is that we do get to delve into stories and delve into research and find out more about what it takes to do the performing arts, but it's the doing that's the hardest part. And I find that that challenge is the reason people show up. Because at the end of it, when they say, I got up and I did that song or that monologue or that scene or the play, that's something that they found that they couldn't get anywhere else. That growth in them, that confidence, and them showing up and being fully themselves and telling their truth in front of other people was something that they could take everywhere they go. So my advice is to come as you are and show up, and you'll be amazed and surprised at what can happen.